Hey guys, welcome back to Kelly's Creations. I'm so glad you're here. Today is part 2 of the Rustic Country Library. If you missed part 1, I will have it in the link below. Pause this video, go to part 1. So today we're going to finish up the library. So I'm going to start with some minis decor for the library. And I've used this little dollhouse before from Dollar Tree, and it comes with all these nice little minis and the house. Oh my gosh. So we're going to utilize some of these little extras that it comes with. It comes with 2 people, and I'm so sorry, but we're cutting off the arms off of one of them. And my big scissors just wasn't getting close enough, so I came in with my smaller scissors to cut the arms. Now we need to make the couch and the chair just a little taller. So I found these oval beads in my stash, and they fit perfectly in the little gap underneath the chair and underneath the couch. So those are going to make the perfect little legs and bring height to these pieces. They were just a little bit too small. So we're going to start with the couch, and I am just going to kind of fill that gap in with hot glue. Be careful because the plastic does get kind of hot. Don't burn your fingers. You might want to put finger protectors on for this part, but I need a lot of glue in there to hold these beads. So I'm still in the process of looking for better glue. I'm using hot glue a lot. I'm actually thinking about nail glue for some smaller pieces. I don't know. Leave in the comments below what's a great glue to use on these little miniatures, because during this process, not actual what I'm doing here, but one of the items I made in this video, I burnt the heck out of my fingers with this hot glue. But yeah, leave in the comments below some suggestions for some glue that's fast drying. I don't want to wait too long for it to dry. That's kind of why hot glue is still kind of being my go-to. So I set the beads inside the bottom of the couch with an obscene amount of hot glue. We're going to set that aside and let that thoroughly dry because I don't want to touch that glue. And I'm going to do the same thing to the chair. I'm going to fill in the gap with hot glue, and I'm going to add 3 beads to the chair, 2 in the front, 1 in the back. This will give it the look of legs, but it's also going to make it taller, which is my sole purpose for this. It needs to be taller for this piece. And these little beads just work perfectly. And they're kind of a rustic greenish color. So yeah, that goes with the theme of the library as well. That little round beige bead that I'm working with right now, I thought would make the perfect stand for the person that I cut the arms off of. And we're going to turn that into a statue. I think all libraries need a little statue for decor. So this will make the perfect little statue. I have a bunch of Tim Holtz little mini decor that I got from Hobby Lobby. So I'm going to take one of those little Tim Holtz clocks, and I'm going to glue that to a bead as well. That way it will stand on the shelf a lot easier. So I'm going to come in with some folk art metallic paint. Nope, I'm sorry. This, I showed you the metal, but I grabbed a couple. I'm so sorry. I'm coming in first with the gold, and that's going to be put on the statue. And of course, it takes about 3 coats to cover up that plastic. So I usually just kind of put a thin base coat, and then I come in with 2 more coats to really make it pop. Now, the other person that I did not cut the arms off of is getting the metallic, and this little side, I guess it would be like a coffee table, is getting metallic as well. The first coat never coats well, so that's why it takes a few. Now, the chairs, we're going to make these chairs look like leather, a leather sofa and a leather recliner. So for the chairs, I'm coming in with coffee bean and acrylic paint, and I'm gonna do a few coats on each of these as well. Just let them dry thoroughly in between, and the second coat looks way better, trust me. So we watch what I do towards the end to make these look like leather. Oh my gosh, they come out so nice. I'm coming back in, like I said, and touching up and adding those extra coats of paint to all of these little items. So I've really been utilizing all the junk magazines that come to my house. And I've been flipping through them and cutting out anything I think would make either a great picture or a great binder for a book. And I'm going to show you 3 different ways of making miniature books. The first is using Scrabble pieces. Whenever I'm at Goodwill or any thrift store, if they have a Scrabble game, I usually get it and use those little Scrabble pieces. You can also buy, I think, 100 of them off of Amazon as well. So I'm taking one of the pages out of the magazine and I'm using craft paint and giving it a really good coat of paint. Then I'm going to take the Scrabble pieces and kind of fit them down where I can come over the top with the paper. So I fit 4 pieces on this page. I come over the top and making sure the binder part really sticks and the sides are sticking. For what I'm using these for, I don't really need to cover the whole Scrabble pieces because really you're going to see the binder of this. And of course, if these are going to be seen, you're going to want to cover, of course, the whole Scrabble piece. But that's all you got to do. Now I'm going to utilize the other side of the magazine and do the same thing. Put the craft paint down, put my Scrabble pieces down, and pull it over them to cover the piece. And this is a really easy way if you're making miniature books and you just are going to be showing that binder. So you really don't need to do anything else. I said in the first part of this video, a lot of making miniatures is the illusion, is giving the illusion of something. Now, of course, if you want to be even more detailed, you can write something on these books. You can tweak them. You can add things to them. You can do whatever you want. Like I said, for what I'm using for, these are perfect because you'll just see the binder part. Now, the second way to make books is once you're done flicking through those magazines and you have all your pages, cut out that you want, if you have a saw or something that can cut through a lot of paper, cut the edge of your magazine. So here's an example. I got this in the mail. I'm going to cut down that edge, keeping that binder intact. And then I actually use scissors just to cut out the books. And you have a perfect little book with a binder. The third way that you can make books is to get this from Dollar Tree, this thicker poster board. And this is so simple. I just cut the poster board to a size that I could work with. I'm grabbing brown craft paper and just a glue stick. And I'm going to put a nice amount of glue where the binder would be and on one side of it. And just kept pushing down, making sure it was sticking thoroughly to the poster board. Then I just flip it over, add another, pretty generous amount of glue and push down to make sure that that sticks. Now, since this is foam board, all you have to do is use scissors. And you can cut the excess paper. I use an X-Acto knife, but scissors work fine as well. I was using the X-Acto knife because, yes, I actually came in with a ruler. You guys don't see me use rulers too often, but just to get a straighter line, I put the ruler and cut with the X-Acto knife. You can draw a line and cut it with scissors too. So there are always different ways. So for the books, I don't care what size they are. I want all different sizes. So now all you have to do is come in with your blade and just start cutting books out. This is so quick and so easy if you need to make a bunch of books like I do for this library. So once I was done cutting all of these little books, I went back to that same piece of board and did the same exact thing until I didn't have enough board left to make any more books. But look how many books I got just off that row. And like I said, now I'm going to take that same board, I'm going to do the same exact thing and make a whole bunch more books as well. So I have all my books cut out. Now I just grab different color markers and I am going to come in and I am going to color the binder of these books. I do end up coloring. It all depends on where you're putting the books. Some of these, all I had to do was color the binders. When I went to place them in the library, if the brown was showing, all I did was I came back in with that color marker and I colored the front of the book as well. But right now I'm focused on the binders and I'm using different colors so that all of the books won't be the same. A few of the books I did leave just the brown craft paper on, and I'm coming in on all of my books with a skinny Sharpie, and all I'm doing is drawing 2 lines at the top and 2 lines at the bottom to make them look more like books. Some of them with the brown paper, I actually put squigglies like there was writing in between. This is where you can do whatever your little heart desires with your books. Now I had some silicone molds that I purchased off of Amazon in their frames. So I'm going to come in with my hot glue and I'm just going to fill in the mold with the hot glue. And I'm going to make 2 frames for the library. Now when I come in with the hot glue, I usually pick it up and I flop it back down just so the glue settles into the cracks of the mold. This works really well. It really fills it in. It's kind of like when you make brownies or a cake and you flop the pan down to get the bubbles out. So if you have any pieces that are coming off of the edges, all you need to do is come in with a small pair of scissors and trim your frames up. Once I had them all trimmed up, I came in with the silver metallic paint and I painted both of these frames in that metallic silver. So here's everything I've done so far. Now I cut this picture out of a magazine and I thought this gentleman was a perfect picture for the library. I'm pretty sure this is like balsa wood that I'm using. You can buy it at Hobby Lobby and it's so easy to cut through. Oh my gosh. So I'm just making a frame for this picture. I cut my pieces. I'm going to glue them down to the magazine and then I'm going to kind of bend them forward to glue them to each other. This just works easier for me and I don't burn myself than trying to glue all the pieces together first, but you do what works for you. Like I said, if I can find some better glue and not have to use my glue gun as much, then I won't have to worry about burning my fingers as much. Once I had my frame made, I came in with one of those wood touch-up furniture markers from Dollar Tree, and I used the marker to color the wood. I colored every part of the frame, inside, outside, making sure that everything was covered. At this point, I didn't know exactly where this was going, and I just wanted to make sure that I had it totally covered. I am going to come in with my black Sharpie and go around where the frame pieces meet together. This is a great way of making something look older. So I come into the gaps in the corners and I use my Sharpie and add a little black, and then I come back over it with the furniture marker, and that kind of blends it in, and it really makes this frame look a lot older. So that is the finished look of the picture frame. Now I'm going to come in with some more pages that I cut out of magazines, and look at these little pictures. Perfect to make pictures for your mini decor. So I'm just picking out which one I want. I am going to cut it down to size, and then I'm going to use craft glue to glue my frame down to the magazine. I ordered a pack of these cloches, and these are so cool off of Amazon. It comes with 2 different colored wood bases, and it also comes with a glass cloche, and it also comes with a silver candle for it. So I thought that would be perfect for the little statue that I made. So I'm going to glue my statue down to the center of the base, and I added a little tiny key that I had gotten. I ordered a pack of keys. I love keys. I thought a little key, kind of like maybe the statue was the founder of the library, so I added the little key. And then I grabbed some more of my little Tim Holtz that I'm going to use to decorate as well. So this is the picture. I added a popsicle stick to the back of it so that I could glue to the popsicle stick and not the piece of magazine. So I am going to glue him down into the center cup, or center floor, we're going to call it. Like I said in part 1, the top of the library is the attic, the center is like a sitting room, the bottom is the library. So now we're going to work on these couches and the chair. I'm going to come in with my black Sharpie, and I'm kind of just going in around the pillows, in the gaps, putting a few dots on the seat itself, anywhere I want the black. Then I'm going to come in with one of those furniture touch-up markers. Again, you guys have to go to Dollar Tree and get these because I absolutely love these furniture markers. When I add the furniture marker to this, it makes it look just like a leather couch. Oh my goodness. I was actually quite amazed while I was doing this, because as soon as I added that marker to it and it blends the black from the Sharpie and the highlights the brown, it just turns into a leather couch. How cute is that? Oh my gosh. I just love that. You can see some of the brown paint underneath the furniture marker. Yeah, I am loving the little couch and chair. So I'm going to take my couch, I'm going to glue that into the corner of the sitting room. And then I'm going to add the frames on either side of the gentleman's picture. And I like the contrast of him having a wood frame, but the flowers having that silver frame, because this library is very dark. It's very wooden and country. So I think putting the silver frames just adds that pop that you need. Even though it's not massive pop of color, it does what it needs to do. So now I'm going to take a placemat from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to cut it down and pull the edges off to make fringe. And I'm going to make 3 little miniature rugs out of it. And I'm going to put a rug on each floor. Next, I'm going to take the cloche with the statue inside of it, and I am going to put that in the center of the table on the first floor. I want that to be the focal kind of piece on that floor. And then I'm going to just start adding all the little books and decor to the 2 shelves that I made. So the Scrabble pieces, oh, you know what? I did not tell you guys. So when I was telling you how to make books, I had kind of fast showed you these books. These are the books I ordered off of Amazon, and you don't really get that many for the price. It's so much easier just to make your own books. But these are cute to have on hand because they're very decorative. So it was nice to have to put on the table. And I said earlier, if I thought the side of the book was going to show, I took the marker to match the binder, and I did use the marker on the side of the book. Not too many of them were showing. I did have to do, just to a few of them. And I used hot glue, and I put glue on the bottom and then attached the books to the shelves. Now, these are the books that I made out of the Scrabble pieces, and I had mentioned that I didn't worry about covering the whole book because you were only going to see the binder. So I'm gluing a bunch of these Scrabble books together, and I'm going to attach those to the shelf as well. Like I said, you're only going to see the binder, and the side that you would see is going to have a different book next to it anyway. As I'm crafting, I always get ideas. So that's why you see me kind of start with something like adding the books, and then I go to something else's because an idea popped in my head and I have to go with it at that moment. So you can get these wood slices from Dollar Tree, and I thought if I glued 2 of them together, it would make the perfect little table for the sitting room. So I'm sorry for flopping around a little bit, but I'm explaining, that's my thought process while I'm doing this. I'm constantly thinking, oh, wait, I have that will work here, and I have that will work here. So I made my little table, and now I'm going back to my shelves, and I'm just going to fill those shelves with books. I'm also going to put the clock on it. As you can see, it's right next to the Scrabble books. I'm also going to use the other person that I painted metallic. I'm going to put that little person next to the books, kind of like a bookend. You don't have to put all of your books straight. Some I kind of slanted. You just have fun with this. You decorate it any way you want. Now I'm going to put in some more Scrabble books. I keep calling them Scrabble books. The books I made out of the Scrabble pieces together to make another grouping to add to the shelf. And the little table, I put a plaque on, and that plaque is from Hobby Lobby, and it's out of the Tim Holtz collection. And I just added a little plaque to the table, and I'm going to glue that down on the shelf as well. I really don't know what's more fun. Building the items or making the minis, building the structure, or decorating. I absolutely love the decorating part. Having all my little ideas come together is so much fun. And it's so rewarding when you have that idea in your head and you put it in place on your miniature and it just comes together. It's just so rewarding. It's so much fun. It's so relaxing. And I'm really loving making these miniatures. So right now you're seeing me filling up those shelves with books. The downstairs is the main part of our little library here. So I needed to put as many books on the shelves as I could fit. And I actually had utilized all of the books that I made. So there was actually quite a few books on these shelves. Let me know in the comments below. Do you like this idea? Do you like the idea of me going to thrift stores, finding unique items, and then putting a miniature scene in that item? I'm thinking the next one I do is going to be a jewelry box that I'm going to add a miniature scene to. So if you really are liking these videos and you like that idea, leave in the comments below what scene, what room, what theme you would like to see inside the jewelry box. So now we're going to head on upstairs and I'm going to add the clock above the dresser and I'm going to put more books on top of the dresser. This is the attic part of the library, so this would be kind of like your overflow of everything. And I'm just going to start putting books on the floor, on the dresser. This is an attic, so I'm trying to make it look messier than the other two floors. I do add a rug, I think I've already told you this, to the bottom floor, and I also put another rug on the top floor as well. And I did add another little Tim Holtz plaque to the front of the dresser. I put 2 little keys on that table, and I am going to be putting books on the floor in the library as well. Once I have everything in place, now it's time to add the top piece to the banister or the railing. And I had already cut it down to size in part 1, and I did the chalk or the furniture marker on it. So now all that's left is to glue it in place. Now, it was always my idea to make a ladder. So I had these dowels that I had painted in that metallic silver. And I am just making 2 kind of rustic country ladders. Some of the steps are crooked. I'm trying to make it look like, it's a very old ladder from my old country library. So I make a taller ladder, which is going to go on the first floor, and then I make a smaller ladder. And actually one of the steps on the smaller ladder, I only put one at the top and the bottom to make it look like it kind of was broken. And that's going to be how you get up to the floors. On part 1, I showed you how I use that marker to make those little makeshift openings, and that's what it was for, so I could put the stairs. So here's the finished library. Oh my goodness, I really love this library. I think it's rustic, I think it's country, and it was so much fun to make. Oh my gosh. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Do you like the little library? Do you like the rustic country theme? Rustic country is so easy for beginners doing miniatures because you have a lot of leeway with mistakes. Everything doesn't have to be, perfect when you're creating. So it's a great way to start if you want to start making miniatures. I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for future notifications, and I will be back next Tuesday. I love you guys. I hope you're all having a blessed and wonderful week. See you next Tuesday. Bye, y'all.